Hello and welcome to Fire Emblem Order of the Crimson Arm 100% Croats Low Turn Camp playthrough. This is my next project. If you know nothing about this hack, this will also serve as a tiny bit of an introduction. Starting with this screen. This screen is the personal information screen from FE7, however the name is different from Mark, and I changed the gender of the tactician to female. The affinity should have been Thunder, but I wasn't aware of that until much later in the run. Anyway. There's lots to talk about in these first couple maps. I'll explain most of the mechanics as they become relevant, such as the two different types of cavalry, wyvern riders, and so on and so forth. This map we get just Kamille and Algimas, and we need to rout the enemy. Algimas is a lance-using lord with bases similar to Eliwood's. However, because he uses lances, he has slightly more firepower. Kamille is able to pick up the scraps of these enemies as Algimas pushes forward. She's able to get a couple kills, and she's able to kill the boss. We want both of these units to get a single level up by the time that the next map starts so they're able to one-round enemies. Algimas technically only needs a strength proc. But because this is 100% Croats, he will get every single stat up. Kamille is a dark magic user who's very important to this run. She's able to become a decent NOS tank in the mid-game, although, because she has 100% defense growth, it's not really needed. And because she is able to use dark magic and staves, her staff rank is not useful, actually. There are no movement staves in this game, just like the last promise. However, there are also no siege tomes, and Kamille gets a 2-3 range personal weapon in Chapter 5, making her one of the only units who's able to attack at more than 2 range. Kamille and Algimas work together to kill this boss. Kamille can kill him over the course of 2 rounds of combat, and Algimas is able to survive by moving away. We're only going to be turning on animations for boss kills. Anyway, this is Chapter 1, or the Prologue, cleared in 4 turns, with a level up on both Kamille and Algimas. We want them to get as many stats as possible. As you can see, Camille's base stats are fairly lopsided. We want her to get as much HP as possible in the early game. Kamille is a very important unit in the long run. We need her to cap several stats, and we need her to have good stats for clears in Chapter 5 and so on. On to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 introduces us to 4 or 5 new units. We get Ernst, a level 10 Myrmidon with pretty shaky base stats in the long run, although he's really useful in 0% growths. But he has 12 base speed, so he's able to double this mercenary. We need to reset in order to do that, though. We get Halen, a healer who doesn't do much. Curtis, a soldier who doesn't do much. Martel, a brigand who doesn't do much. Ernst doesn't end up doing much either, however, his decent combat stats allow him to be deployed in a couple maps, and not hurt too much. You may be able to train him the entire game to help with the final boss if you want to, but there's no real reason to. Curtis, over the course of this player phase, enemy phase, and the next player phase, needs to hit that mercenary 3 times. Or he needs to evade once. This is the much easier way, just making sure that he hits. Kamille is able to deal most of the damage to these enemies in 1 hit. And we intentionally made sure that she didn't get a level up yet, so that she doesn't one-round that mage. We're able to give that mage kill to someone like Martel. We don't really need to train any of the units besides Algimas and Kamille here. However, it's nice to get a little bit of experience onto Martel, Curtis, and Ernst, especially for the early game. By doing that, we're able to have them with better stats for the next chapter, and every chapter after that where they're still deployed before they hit the bench. This 3% crit is not necessary, but it gives us a much safer enemy phase because we need 1 less dodge. I only turn on the crit animations because you're not going to get to see Kamille's sprite that often, and I quite like it. I went with the default name for no particular reason, and I chose female because I like the red sprite but more than I like the purple sprite. It's that simple. We need to burn 1 RN here with Ernst in order to allow Kamille to dodge one of the 2 attacks that comes her way during the enemy phase. One of the attacks is around a 60% hit, and the other one has around a 65% hit. She needs to dodge one of them, which is unfortunate, but it's incredibly easy to rig, and it's quite nice. However, what we rigged was actually for her not whiffing on that archer. She one-rounds that archer because of her earlier level up. We're able to use Kamille to get the kill on weaken the boss, so that Algimas is able to get the kill. Why do we give the kill to Algimas and not Kamille? Well, it's pretty simple. The boss drops a javelin and we don't have access to the prep screen yet. which means that the only way to get the javelin to him would be to trade it to him, which would take a turn next map, or just make this map less convenient. We'd rather him get the boss kill experience as well, because, again, we need his stats to be good. We then use Martel to weaken this archer, because, again, a little bit of filler experience doesn't hurt when he is going to be deployed in a couple of maps forcibly. And then we kill this archer off, completing this map in 3 turns. There's a more reliable 3-turn clear that's possible, but I didn't do it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for Chapter 2, A Tattered Realm.